Should we start it up? I think we should start it up. I heard X-Files is getting a reboot, so I wanted to talk about that. That's episode 2 on YouTube. They're going to start shooting it this spring. The director on it is Ryan Coogler, which, if you look at his resume, pretty legit. He's done some really cool stuff. Um, I'm interested to see what he's gonna do because the last two seasons of X-Files, they tried to reboot it. That first reboot attempt was 6 episodes, and to me, that those 6 episodes, it felt like Mulder and Scully were they're kind of getting back into the groove a little bit. That's how it felt for when I watched it. It also felt like they were trying to modernize that show, and that show was very retro. It was very old school, and it wasn't working. Those things, to me, it didn't really work. Trying to make a old show new, just it they didn't do it properly. The other part, the next season after, when they did the 10 episodes, that was a lot better. I felt like Mulder and Scully were back in it. Like, it felt like some of these episodes actually felt like the old school X-Files. And I just didn't, me personally, none of the episodes really were strong. They were like, they'd be filler episodes in a strong season of X-Files. They were still X-Files, and the quality was there, but it just nothing really crushed in those 10 episodes. There's no episode where I was like, oh, I got to go back and watch that one. That was so good. There was nothing. So those two reboot attempts were not very successful. I wouldn't try that again if I was like a concept writer of what this reboot's going to be. I would not do another reboot with Mulder and Scully. I think a good way to go with the X-Files is not do a reboot and like a new version of the X-Files. I don't think that's the way to do it. I think the way to do it, if you really want to make a show that people are going to watch and like it might go into more seasons, I would do a prequel. So like leading up to Mulder in the X-Files. So what happened before Mulder was spooky Mulder in the basement of the FBI office? How did that get to there? I'd base the main cast would be you'd have to get someone like Mr. X. It would be a young version of Mr. X. If you watch the first few seasons of X Files, you'll know who Mr. X is. He was a very cool character that just showed up randomly, and he was like, you could tell he's gone through some shit within the FBI. You could tell he was trying to do what Mulder was doing, but he's just more okay with how corrupt it is. Like, but he was seeing something in Mulder, and he was trying to guide Mulder to the truth. So that was a cool character, I thought. I would base it on him. You'd have to have a very strong character to play that guy because he was aura. Like, he made that show very interesting in the early seasons of that show, and then they killed him off. Um, some of those characters, though, there was a guy before him that did that same character. Kind of showed up randomly. He's like, "You're close, Mr. Mulder. You're so close to this." Like, it was cool. Like, those two guys would be interesting if you did a prequel to this show. And then you get to do it retro, which people really do like the 90s, 80s. So I guess it would be the 70s, 80s, the prequel if you're going to do it. That's how I would do the X-Files. I don't think continuing after after whatever they did, like the reboot, they tried passing the torch to two new characters. They had a cute redhead. They just didn't have it. They don't have what they had in the first run of this show. Those characters, they just didn't have the depth. So it wasn't going to work, and you could just see it wasn't going to work. Um so yeah, I hope it's something like that. If it's a prequel, I'm excited. Either way, this director has, if you look at his resume, he doesn't make garbage. He makes strong stuff. So I'm very curious to see what is in store for the future of the X-Files. I have one X-Files story. When they did do the reboot in 2018, I was actually looking it up online. I'm like, I gotta go watch this shit. So like, me and my cousins went and we watched the first episode. I think it was season 10, the 10 episode run. We watched them shoot the first episode of that. So like all the action scenes we watched, and we it was a night shoot. So like it started at like 11. We were there till like 5 in the morning just watching all this shit. Like it was pretty cool. David Duchovny actually walked right past me. I didn't say anything to him. I don't know. I didn't want to. He didn't seem like he wanted to talk to anybody. I don't know. He always has that look to him though, right? So I never said anything, but I did take a video of him. And then Chris Carter, that's what I fumbled. He was cooking, like he was there. He was directing everything. He was more approachable, I think. I probably could have said what's up to him and he would have been cool about it, but I just kind of let them do their thing and I was just kind of watching the show, right? Like I was just watching everything go down. It was really fun. But yeah, we kept getting kicked out because I guess they knew we weren't like extras because I guess we kept pulling our phones out, and I guess that's how they knew we weren't working, and then we had to move, and then but whatever. It was pretty fun to be there and like be a part of that. It was who knows what this. I just hope this new reboot delivers. That's all I hope. Um, that would be one way to do it. I mean, you could another smart way to do it, if you're gonna keep the original characters like Mulder and Scully, like I would do like just one good case for the season, like one or two good cases, and they're old cases, and like the new X-Files crew is dealing with it, and they keep coming back to all these old characters trying to figure things out. I think that would be good if the case is good. So those are the two ways I could see it going. What way do you see it going? I'd like to know. Leave a comment in the box below. All right, and we're out. We're out. This was a good one. X-Files, baby, it's back.